This is the Ultenic D6S, the robot that can apparently clean and mop your floor. So let's take a little look at it. No one likes to vacuum, well, apart from myself. But having a smart companion around to do it for you, even when you are out, sounds ideal. So let's kick things off by unwrapping the D6S from its attentive packaging. Inside the box you get one user manual, one warranty registration card, one black mop pad holder with mop, one spare mop, one HEPA filter, one cleaning brush, one side brush, one magnetic strip and adhesive strips, one remote control, two AAA batteries for the said remote, one charging station, one power cord, and of course finally the D6S robot itself. Setting up the device is pretty simple. You unwrap everything and remove any additional protective packaging, connect the power adapter to the charging station, and then plug it in. Before placing the robot vacuum itself onto the charging station so it can suck up some juice. I would also recommend downloading the Ultenic app from either the Google Play Store or the App Store. This is also easy to initiate, by the way, as I'll now show you. Once downloaded, you create an account, then select your robot, in this case the D6S, and once found it will then ask to connect to your Wi-Fi on the 2.4 GHz band. Moments later your D6S should be ready to explore its new grounds for cleaning. But before we throw it straight into the dooms of dusty carpets, let's just examine this inquisitive device. Now, considering I haven't even tried one of these robot vacuums before, well, the build quality feels pretty good. It has a substantial weight of around 7 pounds, which takes away any of the cheap feeling, and it can provide a good suction power of up to 3000 PA. Housed inside is a HEPA filter system that can supposedly pick up to 99% of dust and even pet hair from your floor, which is good to know for any allergy sufferers. At the front it has infrared sensors to detect its surroundings, plus anti-fall know-how to stop it from, well, falling down. It also has a low height of 7.4 centimeters to allow for passing under furniture, and apart from having automatic carpet boost, which means it will increase the suction power whenever it detects carpet, it can also sweep, vacuum and mop all in one cycle, with SonicTrue vibration technology, producing up to 3000 scrubs per minute to help get your grounds spotless and sparkling. But as much as that makes for some stimulating reading, let's see the D6S in action with its cleaning capabilities. The first test consisted of wonderful crisps that are always being dropped everywhere by the children of this household. And yes, occasionally myself. But hopefully this little cleaning apparatus should put an end to those horrors of trodden food in amongst the carpet. To much avail, the D6S had no trouble in sucking up the mess thanks to its good suction power. The settings I used was the deep clean mode via the app, which means the vacuum will make 2 runs back and forth and then side to side. You can also track the activity on the app as well, as the D6S scurries around looking for dirt to eat up. And because this room is only small, measuring 6 feet by 6 feet, it only took around 8 minutes to complete its cycle. Which, yes, when you think about it, it means it probably would be quicker for you to do it yourself with a normal vacuum cleaner. But if you are a busy person with little time to spare, then hoovering any room, no matter of its size, can take away those precious and valuable minutes. As for the results, well, the D6S did perform its cleaning to a high standard. The carpet looked great, with only one very small crumb of crisp being found afterwards. For the second test, I decided to up the ante by dumping some rather tough and crusty fragments of naan bread that was actually more like pieces of plastic thanks to it being left out for several days. However, this time I also placed a few fragments of cat litter into the deepest corner of the room to see if they could also be conquered. And like with the crisps, the naan bread was broken up into a range of different sized pieces, and I was quite sure they would actually cause quite a bit of havoc in terms of being hoovered away, not just because of their size, but also their solid consistency. And so, using the deep clean mode once again, I let the D6S go into combat. And I must admit, surprisingly it did remarkably well, with sweeps both back and forth and side to side, with a slight attraction to making sure the side of the cupboard was grime free too. As expected though, when it came to the hard synthetic like bread, it didn't quite win the battle, with 2 large pieces remaining. But I will say this in its defence, and that is I believe it would have won the war had it not suspiciously stopped for apparently getting stuck, which I will talk about properly shortly. In this case though, having checked the D6S for any blockages and finding none, I then placed it back, however this time in the designated area mode, a feature that makes this robot do a widening clockwise and anti-clockwise cleaning, which then allowed it to sweep up the remaining bread, leaving the area a hard bread free district. As for the corner pieces of cat litter though, well, I'm sorry to say they remain undefeated, as this little guy couldn't quite get into the tight corners. But not all dirt is large, so what about the exceptionally small bits when it comes to cleaning? I'm talking about icing sugar, which was to be our next target. And I've chosen icing sugar because it can be incredibly difficult to remove due to not only its bright colour, but also its super fine texture, which allows it to get deep down into the fibres of the carpet. Unleashing the D6S, at first all went well. The majority of the white substance was devoured from the contaminated area, and I did have high hopes that it would be able to finish off the rest of it before it automatically went back to recharge. But for some reason, after around the 10 minutes mark of splendid cleaning power, the D6S said it was stuck again, but in the exact same place as before, even though there was nothing in that area to block it, as you can see. But don't be alarmed just yet, because it was only in this room that this strange occurrence happened, and I still can't explain it to this day. In fact, it remains a mystery. Every other room I did try it out in though, a total of 4, not once did it just randomly stop. But I am happy to say that despite this little hiccup, the icing sugar had mostly been removed. Of course it didn't remove it all, which I doubt even a normal hoover could, and in terms of what had been taken up, well, I was very satisfied. So we've done some general testing, now it's time to introduce the D6S to the rest of the house. And mopping was to be the next feature I wish to explore. And so I filled up the water compartment with plain water, attached the mop pad, and then let it loose. The mop feature works just like the vacuum feature, except this time with the vibrating mop pad rapidly wiping the floor down at the rear whilst the front picks up any dirt. And to be honest, well, I wasn't expecting too much from the D6S and its trusty mop, because for me, I feel mopping is an art form and it takes time for it to be done thoroughly. So after giving this feature a chance to shine, as you could say, yes, I was fairly happy with the general cleanliness of how the floor looked. But deep down, I knew myself I would probably have to go over it again, especially if I had dry, muddy footprints or other various stains. Imagine this robot giving it a once over, as the saying goes, but without any of the elbow grease. A pressing hard wipe instead of a jolly good scrub. Nonetheless though, with its 490ml water tank capacity plus adjustable water flow, you can ensure that your desired surface will at least look cleaner and brighter than it did once before. So it cleans, it mops, and you don't even have to be around whilst it does it. You can power the D6S via its touch controls situated on the top, or via the remote control, or even via an Alexa or Google Home device. Its 100-minute runtime allows it to cover up to approximately 100 meters squared, which is a generous amount of space considering its size. and overall it does the job of helping you keep one step above a messy floor. But the main question remains, if you are looking for a robot vacuum, is this the one for you? Well, for me, this is my first encounter with one of these little helping hands, and I find it useful but not delightful. Taking into account that this is an entry-level robot vacuum, for the options, features and all-round ease of use that this device brings to the table, or should I say, brings to the floor, I think it is most definitely one to consider. But I also think the main question should be, is your household suitable for a robot vacuum? By this I mean, whilst I've been testing this one out in my place of residence, because it has lots of steps, that basically means that this cleaner can only do certain areas at a time before it needs to be physically moved. So in general, I would recommend the D6S to someone with an open plan house, or at least somewhere that doesn't have so many steps. I have to admit though, I do personally like the D6S. It's simple but effective and does do its job of bringing an additional mop and broom to your grounds. Plus it does remarkably well at hoovering too. Its shiny top can be a bit of a fingerprint magnet, and unfortunately it doesn't seem to hold the charge if it is for some reason knocked off its charging hub. On a whole though, in terms of a robot doing your hoovering, Ultenic have created a device that can do just that. Of course, it will never beat the cleaning power of doing it yourself, but for floors, free roaming carpets or even tinted tiles, with the simple push of a button or pre-programmed schedule, the D6S will come out of its hiding place and not only help you triumph over the dreaded household chores, but most importantly help maintain your house as a dirt and crumb-free zone. And there we go, that was my quick review and of course demonstration of the Ultenic D6S robot vacuum and mop. However, just a quick disclaimer that although this was sent to us for the purpose of this video, all my thoughts and opinions expressed throughout this review are completely my own and of course completely impartial. But still, if you've got any questions or comments or even thoughts about the Ultenic D6S, then please place them in the comment section below. Not forgetting, if you enjoyed this video and you like tech and gadgets, then please show your support to the channel by liking this video and of course subscribing as well. But until next time, thank you all for watching. I hope this review has been of some use to you, and I'll see you all at some point very soon. Thank you.